Good morning. This lesson is for my trig pre-calc class, but before I get started, I want to say I hope that everyone's doing all right out there. I'm not sure what I'm going to title this lesson, but what I am sure of is our two goals for today. Our first goal is going to be to investigate what area calculates and review the formula for an area of a triangle. Our second goal is going to be how to set up an oblique triangle to find its area. Now, oblique is a very fancy way to say a triangle that's not a right triangle. I'll write that later in the lesson when we get into the second goal, but let's go ahead and jump into our first goal. All right, so what does area measure? What does its calculation mean? All right, here's an example. Find the area of this little rectangle, and I guarantee every single one of you, just like that, said the area of this guy is equal to 6. And I would say, yes, the area of this is 6. But what does it mean? And I've asked this question enough times to know that I'm going to get the same answer, and probably some of you guys are thinking what I'm about to say. And you're going to say, well, it means that it's length times width. Which is the calculation for the area. But it doesn't answer my question, what does it mean? All right, so let's move into this next part. How do we measure the size of a flat object, which is area? This question is area, right? Area is a measurement of a flat object. Well, sometimes. For now, for this lesson it is, but you can find the area of basically any object. So how do we find how do we measure the size of a flat object? This is area for the most part. For now. Well, we measure the size of a flat object with other flat objects, which sounds odd. Now let me explain how we use these other flat objects. We cover what we're measuring with flat objects. Exciting writing. All right, so how do we measure the size of a flat object? With other flat objects. We cover what we are measuring with flat objects. So let me clarify what I mean here. Let's go back to this problem. Back to our area problem, which the area is 6, and that's the calculation. Yes. What did it mean? What did it mean? 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. I covered this little rectangle with 6 small squares. So back to the original question. Find the area. The area is 6 squares, or 6 square units, which means it takes 6 smaller flat squares to cover this bigger rectangle, right? So this rectangle is covered by 6 squares. So that's what it means. We're covering it. So area is a measurement about how much it takes to cover. How many squares to cover? This is area. Okay, so let's I really just want to talk about, because you're going to calculate it, let's make sure we know what it is. And by the way, when I calculate the size of this floor, I calculate how many square tiles it takes to cover. I need to know the area of a wall, because I need to know how much paint to buy to cover the wall. 1 coat or 2 coat. I have 2 coats. I believe a gallon of paint covers 400 square feet of wall, right? So again, area is a covering. Covers. It covers, right? All right, so let's review the area, the formula for area of a triangle. Area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height, where B is base and H is height. And what are we calculating? How many squares it takes to cover a triangle. This is how many squares to cover a triangle. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and clean this off, set up the second part of the goal, and I'll be back. I'm back. So let's go ahead and jump into our second goal, and that's how to set up an oblique triangle to find its area. Okay, so this is actually a really simple lesson, and it builds off of what we've been working on in chapter 6. So let's just go ahead and jump into the second goal. In order to find the area of an oblique triangle, which is a non-right triangle, you need to first solve it. Patterns of angle, angle, side, angle, and angle, side, side. Use the law of sines. For triangles with the side, angle, side, or side, side, side patterns, we use the law of cosines to create the angle, side, side pattern and finish solving using the law of sines. So we've already been doing this. So first you got to solve your triangle, right? Our triangle should be labeled with angles A, B, and C, with their opposite side lengths labeled as length A, length B, length C, respectively. That just means this order is the same as that order. All right. So finding the area is really simple. The area before was 1/2 base times height. The area of a triangle now becomes 1/2 the length of side B times the length of side C times the sine of angle A, the measure of angle A. Plug it in, hit enter. And you got your area of your triangle. You know now how many squares it takes to cover your triangle. So again, I think this is a pretty straightforward lesson. We're just adding a formula at the end of us solving the triangle. It's probably a good idea to have a picture of your triangle so you know what you're working with. But that's it for this lesson. That's it for this chapter. All right. So again, I hope everyone is doing all right out there. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.